Very strong words there from Republican Congressman Steve Scalise telling the president to get out of our way and let us implement our own plan. And we are very pleased this morning to be joined by Louisiana Senator Mary Landrieu, who is on the Senate Energy and National Resources Committee. Senator, welcome. Good to have you here this morning. And good to have you to get your reaction to this very good news. If it's true, what's coming out this morning is that the leak has stopped, that BP's operation this morning has been successful. What is your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, I'd like to react to Congressman Scalise. I most certainly understand that frustration, and many people in Louisiana along the Gulf Coast feel just almost helpless as we watch this oil and have for 30 days or more come into our coast. I hope the congressman will give credit then today where credit is due if this oil leak has been stopped, because the administration has had some of the top scientists in the operations with BP for weeks trying to figure out the mechanics and the science behind this top kill. So I hope people on the other side of the aisle and the congressman will give some credit if the good news is true, and we very much hope so, because BP has an obligation, so does the federal government, to shut this well down, use the best science we have to do it. If that has happened, which has been reported, that is good news. But there's still a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done to clean up this horrific spill and flow.
And boy, if this is true, that situation becomes the forefront. And, you know, we've heard Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, saying, please give us what we need. He wants these booms that would stretch across the coastline. He says he's gotten, you know, a fraction of what they've asked for. There's been a lot of criticism, you know, from Democrats alike, that the administration did not swoop in early enough, that they haven't given what's been asked for in Louisiana from the federal government, and that, as this congressman says, is their responsibility by law. Protect the coastline to the greatest extent you can.
Absolutely. There's no doubt that more could have been done. The Coast Guard was there on the scene from the first minute. Thad Allen, who helped us through Katrina, who Democrats and Republicans admire universally, is the incident commander. So I think things will start to get better. But what we need to focus on is channeling all of our anger to really good actions that can be taken. Number one, let's get the fishermen and the businesses the money they need so they don't lose their homes or their boats or their futures. Number two, let's get the federal government to give Louisiana and the Gulf Coast what we've asked for 20 years, which is advanced revenue sharing, or revenue sharing to share in some of those tax, income that's coming to the federal government, so we can protect our coast. And let's get some of this Barrier Island plan built right away. And those are some of the things we can do.
You know, what the president, he's about to speak a couple hours from now. It's going to be his first press conference in a very long time, and no doubt he's going to get some very tough questions about this whole Louisiana shoreline situation as a result of this mess. The early word, Senator, in what we're getting that he's going to say is a moratorium on permits to drill in deep water, that he's also going to, that would last for 6 months, that planned exploration off the coast of Alaska is going to be delayed, that the August lease sale in the Western Gulf will be canceled, and that the lease sale off of the coast of Virginia will also be canceled. It sounds like we're going to hear a real crackdown on drilling, and I think you're not in favor of that. Is that right?
Well, I'm in favor of a crackdown on deep water drilling and a pause to make sure that we can do this safely. I mean, people along the Gulf Coast support an industry, but we support a safe industry. The problem is, I hope the president, because I have advised him through his advisors, Ken Salazar and Tom Strickland, will not shut down shallow drilling where the blowout preventers are on top of the water. We've got 57 rigs basically now shut down for 30 days in the Gulf, a minimum of 100 people per rig. That's direct jobs of 5,000 that are on, hold right now. We've got to get people back to work. We can't overreact to this. I hope the president will separate deep water drilling from shallow water drilling and let the industry go forward where we know we can do it safely and the technology is proven and mature.
Your point is very well taken, and he may make that separation. He may say allow the shallow drilling to continue, but we're going to crack down on the deep water drilling. But we're also getting the message, and we'll see what he says when he steps in front of that podium today, that he's going to use this as a political opportunity to push a lot of alternative green energy initiatives that he's been very passionate about all along. And in that, you might see a downplay on the drilling side of all of this. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, the president is in a very difficult position, you know, because his own party doesn't like drilling at all. His critics, you know, the right wing wants to do more drilling, and he's trying to find the way forward, and it should be based on what's right for the country and the right science, which is let's, you know, review carefully this deep water drilling. We obviously need the oil and gas. America consumes, you know, 20 million barrels a day. We only produce 9. Number two, we don't just get oil from the Gulf. We get gas. Like T. Boone Pickens says,
right.
We need more natural gas to run our vehicles. It meets more of our clean air standards. So we've got to be careful that we don't just shut down this industry, but we must make sure that deep water drilling is safe and allow the shallow water drilling 1,000 feet or less to go forward, in my view.
And that is your message for him today. I got to tell you before you go that our hearts go out to the people of your area, Senator.
Thank you so much, and we need their prayers, their support, and their help, and it's the same area that was hit in Katrina Rita, so our people are really struggling. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for being here. We'll talk to you soon, I hope. Thank you, Senator.